Speaker, in my hometown of Charters Towers, we had the biggest meatworks in Australia, and through the financial collapse of the company and a couple of other issues involved, we do not have a meatworks in Charters Towers. But being the centre of a huge cattle growing area, we have had meetings with many, almost all Chinese interests, and I was very surprised. In each case I said that, well, maybe we should have a quartering works, and you do the final processing out, which is the major labour content, in China, in an effort to encourage them to come in. The amount of capital required is nowhere near as great if we go to quartering. Mr. Speaker, every one of the groups from China that spoke to us said no, they wanted everything done in Australia. And the people that were introducing them to us got us aside afterwards and said, if it wears an Australian stamp, they believe it's been hygienically processed. If it doesn't bear an Australian stamp, they assume it's been processed in China, and it may not necessarily be hygienically approved. The terrible case that occurred in China with their baby milk, which was processed in China, led them to buy out the dairy farms in Tasmania and endeavour to get around that problem that way. But I make these points, Mr. Speaker, to indicate to the Parliament that we have a very good reputation for hygiene in Australia. If you buy something that is processed in Australia, you can count on it being meeting the highest of hygiene standards in the world. Now, if the members' legislation does not go through, then our reputation will be placed in the gravest of jeopardy, because I can't see anything that would stop the initiatives coming out of what is now the Kidman Chinese-controlled, but there's an Australian entity heavily involved there, and that person has said that they will control all of the chain into China. So I would assume that they would be doing their processing in China.
The member for Kennedy's time has
and this will
concluded. Member for Kennedy will resume his seat. Question is that this bill be now read a second time. The time allotted for this debate has expired. The debate is adjourned and the result